Diving is a real good idea. They've done that.
Now, is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? Well, good afternoon. This is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor, and we're live on Sunday, June the 21st, 2020. Happy Father's Day. Do a tuning around so we can pick up some DX. Very good afternoon to everybody. CQ calling, CQ calling, CQDX, CQDX, CQ calling, CQDX. This is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victoria. CQ calling, CQ calling, CQDX. CQDX from Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victoria. CQ calling, CQDX, CQDX. This is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Whiskey 2 Japan Victoria. CQ and listening. CQ calling, CQ calling, CQDX, CQDX from Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Whiskey 2 Japan Victoria. CQ calling, CQDX, CQDX. This is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. CQ calling, CQ calling, CQDX, CQDX, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victoria. CQ calling, CQ calling, CQDX. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor is listening. CQ calling, CQ calling, CQDX, CQDX, CQ calling, CQDX. Thank you, by the way, S57 Zulu Tango, thank you. Thank you for following. CQ calling, CQDX, CQDX. This is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victoria. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. CQ and listening. CQ calling, CQ calling, CQDX, CQDX. This is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victoria calling CQDX. Good afternoon, Whiskey 9 Kilo Hotel Papa. Thank you very much for following us. We appreciate that. CQ calling, CQDX, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor.
Golf 4, Oscar Bravo, Bravo.
There you go. We have a customer. Golf 4, Oscar Bravo, Bravo. Thank you. Good afternoon. Golf 4, Oscar Bravo, Bravo. Nice signal. 5 and 7 here into Long Island, New York. The name is Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo Peter. And if I'm not mistaken, your name is Des, and I think you're in Glemsford, Suffolk, if my QRZ page is anywhere near correct. Over to you, sir. 5 and 7. Nice signal. Good to talk with you again. Now, we last spoke, I believe, on the 15th of September 2019. Thanks for responding to the call, Des. Golf 4, Oscar Bravo, Bravo. How are things going over there? Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Yeah, very good indeed, Peter. And thanks for the call from New York. Well, you're peaking about 5 and 6, 56 here. The same conditions, the typical midsummer conditions. So yeah, you had it all correct. My name is Dan. We got beautiful sunshine here today. Sunshine. It's still around 70 degrees outside. It's been a wonderful day here. And it's good to hear you, even though the signals are not really that strong, but it's good to hear stateside coming through, Peter. W2 Juliet Victor, G4 ODB. Go ahead, Peter.
Well, thank you, Des, and you're absolutely right. When I looked at the sunspot numbers at 0 and the SFI at 68 and the KNA numbers, I was ready to go outside and do some gardening. But I said, well, what the heck? I heard a couple of European stations, so I said, let me give it a chance. So glad I did, and glad that we're making contact once again. Yes, our weather here is indoor weather today. I mean, it's sunny skies, but the humidity is high, and the temperature is probably close to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's a little bit difficult to deal with outside for now. So I decided, what the heck, give it a chance, guess. Give it a chance. I'm glad you're having a nice day weather-wise, and yeah, sometimes it's worth it on amateur radio just to take the chance to see what's out there. You never know. My operating conditions here, I'm running about a kilowatt to a Navasa 5 antenna. I don't know if you've heard of Navasa 5, but it's made by a company called JK Antennas. 2 elements on every band, and I'm up about the tower is about 70 feet. I'm using a Tri-X tower. And I've got some altitude here. We're at 300 feet or so. Sorry not to give you metric numbers, but you gave me Fahrenheit, so I'll give you U.S. numbers as well, Des. So let's see. Hopefully the signal is holding up, Des. Golf 4, Oscar, Bravo, Bravo. Tell me what your operating conditions are, if you don't mind, if you can still hear me. Whiskey 2, Juliet, Victor. Back to you, Des.
Yeah, very good, Peter. Yeah, no problem. You're 5 and 6. You're holding up pretty well over here.
Oh, okay.
I'm running tonight with the Kenwood 590.
Thank you, Snike. Thank you very much.
Driving an SGC.
FRITZ 72. Thank you so much. Or otherwise known as W9 KHP. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. And yeah, sometimes the phone account is the way to go.
I do have another radio here. I have the IC7610 here, ICOM, and that feeds into the AL1200.
All right, he's got some nice radios.
AL1200 Ameritron here. But tonight I'm using the 590 and the SGC. That's what I'm running right now. Wonderful to hear you, Peter. I'm not going to push our luck. I'll say 7-3 while we're on top here, and look out for you again real soon. Take care. Take care, my friend. W2 Juliet Victor, G4 ODB. Good afternoon to you.
Oh, Des, your signal came up to a 5 and 9, so maybe propagation is getting a little bit better to Europe. Golf 4, Oscar, Bravo, Bravo. Whiskey 2, Juliet, Victor. Thanks, Des. Good copy, obviously. Good copy and a very nice modulation. The 590 always has been a stellar standout radio. I have the 570. That was my first radio when I got back into this hobby again. And I originally got my license in 1964 and was sort of active, mostly, though, VHF, UHF. And then I took a leave of absence from amateur radio as we built a family and a business. And back in 95, I got back into it, upgraded my licensing, and now I got the Flex radio. I'm using the Flex 6400M. And really enjoy that radio a lot. I'm also streaming, by the way. I'm streaming via Twitch TV. So if you want to hear your great signal and your audio, you can go to Twitch TV with my call sign and pick that up. I'm on your QRZ page and love the picture of you and a significant other on some camels. One of my favorite all-time movies is Lawrence of Arabia. So every time I see a camel, I just how wonderful that movie was. And yeah, you got to tell me on your final. It doesn't look like a very comfortable ride. So I don't know if it's made for long distances, especially if you're not, how shall I say, acclimated to riding on a camel. But that's a beautiful picture. Just tell me when you took that trip, Des. Over to you for your final. Thanks a lot. Got a good signal. Hopefully mine is holding up. Golf 4, Oscar, Bravo, Bravo, in beautiful Glemsford, Suffolk, England. Home of Formula One racing, at least one of the headquarters for many, many top teams. look forward to having them back again. This is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor in good old Northport, New York, up about 300 feet. Over to you, Des.
Yeah, what was that site for looking at? Was it Twitch TV? What was it? What was that TV, Peter, over?
Yes, that's a streaming channel that's very popular with gamers, and it's Twitch, TWITCH.TV, Tango Victor. And if you have any problems getting to it, go to my QRZ page, and it'll take you there. But Twitch TV is a streaming channel, and I've been streaming a lot of things there on Twitch, and certainly I'm streaming this right now, Des. QSL?
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll take a look at that in just a few minutes. That'll be cool. I like doing stuff like that. Yeah, let me tell you something. Camels are very uncomfortable.
You hear that?
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When you climb on them, when they get up, they kind of rock forward and go back. It's really weird. They kind of stand up with their back end first, and you feel like you're going to fall off. You know, and when you ride a camel, you're very aware that, you know, in the desert, there's a lot of rocks and crap about on the ground, and if you fall off that camel, you got a long way. You can smash your head real bad, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a comfortable experience, trust me. And trying to ride a camel and take photographs is quite tricky. You kind of get used to it, but I tell you, I wouldn't want to be one of them camel jockeys. You know, having camel races, man, I wouldn't want to get involved in that for $1 million, I'll tell you.
That's funny.
Thanks for the call, Peter. Take care. Thanks for looking me up on the Z page, and we'll see you real soon. You look after yourself, man. WQJV.
Excuse me.
4ODD. Till the next time. Bye-bye.
Oh, Des, that's funny. You made me laugh, Des. Yeah, it looked very easy in Lawrence of Arabia. He and Omar Sharif looked like they were born on camels, but it looked like a nice ride. But thanks for cluing me in. So next time someone asks me if I want a camel ride, I'll say I'll pass on that. My goodness, thanks a lot for that information. I appreciate that very, very much. Yeah, and I can imagine. You have to have a camera that has a shake shutter adjustment on it, big time. But that's funny. That's funny, Des. But those still picture you took looks wonderful. That's a really nicely framed picture. That's a beautiful picture. Well, Des, thank you for that. You see, you never know what you learn on amateur radio. It doesn't have to be always about electronic circuits and antennas and designs and all that nerdy stuff. Anyway, that's great. Yeah, that's for sure, really. Well, 73s to you, sir. Thanks a lot. A real pleasure. Really enjoyed it. And take a look at Twitch TV. I think you'll enjoy it. We're kind of crowding in a little bit on the gamers. The gamers are saying, "Hey, what are you guys doing here? You're amateur radio operators. You're not supposed to operate in this environment of technology." And we certainly are trying to educate and illuminate the young people to the science, technology, engineering, and manufacturing area, and mathematics, I should say, the STEM subjects, so we could have more engineers certainly going into that field. And we like to show them that amateur radio certainly is a very good path towards the STEM initiatives. Well, anyway, 73's, Des, a real pleasure. Thanks for picking my signal up. I appreciate that. Be well, be safe, and yes, we'll be safe here. We're learning how to deal with this pandemic, and we're only going out when it's essential. Be well, Des. Thanks a lot for the time. Good signal. Good job. Thanks a lot for the laugh as well. Not laughing at you, but about your story. Okay, Des. Golf 4, Oscar Bravo Bravo, 73, sir. Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. Be well, Des, 73s.
Yeah, stay safe, Peter. We'll see you next time. Take care. 4ODD. Bye-bye.
73s, and as they say, cheers and beers, and thank you so much for the time, Jess. I really do appreciate that very, very much. 73s to you, sir. Nice pictures on your QRZ page. Anyway, this is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor, W2JV, and right now we're QRZDX. QRZDX. Anyone else out there? Whiskey 2 Juliet Victoria.
Whiskey 9 Kilo Hotel Papa.
The station ending in Papa, go ahead.
Whiskey 9 Kilo Hotel Papa. Oh, Peter.
Pop Alpha 3, stand by a second. Pop Alpha 3. There's a couple of stations with Kilo, but there's a station with Kilo in it. Come on back again.
Whiskey 9 Kilowatt Hotel Papa.
Oh, okay, thank you. Whiskey 9 Kilowatt Hotel Papa. Very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much. Thanks for being patient. I was calling DX, but doesn't matter. Good to hear you from, I believe you're located, where are you? You're in Warwick, Indiana, I believe. And my antenna is not quite close to you, but a 5 and 7. 5 and 7. Your name comes up as Raymond O'Ray, and I think you're in Newburgh, Indiana, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me. Name here is Peter, Papa Echo Tango Echo Romeo. Over to you, sir. W9 KHP. Thanks for your patience. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor.
Roger, Peter. Yep, just thought I'd get in here and see if I could hear you. Sitting here watching you on Twitch. Just wanted to say you're sounding good out this way into southern Indiana, and yes, that is correct. I'm in Newburgh, Indiana, Warwick County. It's in the southern tip, if you look at the map of Indiana. So right down there in the toe. But just wanted to come in here and say hey to you real quick, and the stream looks great, buddy.
Well, thank you. By the way, do you go by Ray or Raymond? Go ahead.
Either one is fine with me.
Yeah, here too. Peter or Pete, doesn't matter. My mother, when she called me Peter, I knew I was in trouble, so that's when I went to Pete. Anyway. Oh, yeah, now I see, Ray. Now I see what's going on. Yeah, I didn't connect the chat and the actual live conversation here. So thank you so much, and thanks for following me on Twitch TV. I appreciate that. And, yes, Field Day would be very exciting to be able to stream Field Day. The more stations that stream, the better. Hopefully we'll be able to encourage others to get involved in our hobby, and maybe others that have been somewhat dormant can get back involved again and again with it. By the way, I didn't quite understand when you mentioned you had to switch to your phone account. I guess, does that mean you weren't picking it up on Wi-Fi, Ray? Go ahead.
Well, for some reason, man, I have yet to figure it out. When I'm actually watching Twitch on my computer, and I have an extremely fast gaming computer that I'm usually watching, Twitch is extremely stuttery, but I get on my phone and it's perfectly fine. So I think it's something within the browser, and it really doesn't matter which browser I'm using. It does the same thing. So I don't know. It just seems to work much better on the phone, Roger.
Okay, I got it. No, that makes sense. By the way, you were mentioning that the chat window is covering up part of my basically my stream here. Is it doing a little bit better? I switched it over to full stream. Does it look a little bit better now, Ray? Go ahead.
Oh, it looks fine. It looks perfectly fine with the picture and everything. It's just you might have, I'm not sure what you're using, OBS maybe or something like that. But the chat window may be an overlay. It's coming up right above and right overlaid of the frequency that you're sitting on, instead of maybe sliding it down a little bit over the waterfall. But other than that, it just took me a minute to figure out where you were.
Okay. Yeah, you're right about that. I didn't pay attention to that. Yeah, I moved it down a little bit. That should be a little bit better. Yeah, you want to see that. That's better, I think. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I understand about the twitchiness there of the Twitch, no pun intended. But yeah, I game on iRacing a lot. I do a lot of that. I used to do more of it, but now amateur radio, we can't do both. It seems it takes a lot of my time. Do you play a particular game, or are you on a particular network? Go ahead, Ray.
Well, actually, I do stream a little bit of iRacing myself. I've been on iRacing probably, what is it now, about 8 years. Took a break for about 4 years, got away from it. Just when you're racing three nights a week, it kind of burns you out pretty quick. But mostly I play hunting and fishing games, and we got a big group of us that stream on Twitch, and I just happened to see you on while I was watching one of those guys. And another one of the guys that we game with is also a Hess who lives up in Maine. So I threw in your call sign real quick to say come over and check it out. I'm not sure if he made it over or not, but he just renewed his license for another 10 years. So hopefully he'll stay within the hobby. But anyway, I'll let you get back at the DX holler, and I don't want to hog up your DX calling here. I just wanted to say hey real quick.
No hogging whatsoever. Believe me. I enjoyed the conversation, enjoyed talking a little bit about the streaming that you do. And yes, iRacing can take up a lot of our time. And one of the fellows, I'm sure you might know him. You might see some of the work. He's probably one of the top, certainly in terms of number of hits. He gets quite a few. Matt Malone. I don't know if you know Matt at all or you watch him at all, but he's a funny guy, and he's a pretty good racer as well. So, yeah, I enjoy watching him, and you can learn a few things from him as well. But, yeah, it's tough to do so many things. We'd love to spend more time there, but you know how it is. We love amateur radio. But thanks a lot, Ray. I appreciate the time, and thanks a lot for coming over here and talking about Twitch a bit. I appreciate that, and thanks for the correction. I'll make a better job of moving that chat window in the right place. 73s to you, Ray. Have a good day. Be safe out there. Thanks so much. Whiskey 9, Kilo Hotel Papa. Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. Best of 73s to you, Ray.
All right, Peter. Appreciate it, buddy. I'm glad we can make that contact and we could sit here and watch it on Twitch and all that fun stuff. We're a bunch of nerds. We know that, and we like to use every avenue we can to make amateur radio, modern to the kids. So that's exactly why I'm wanting to do the field day stream this coming up weekend, and hopefully it pans out. We'll see. We've had, let's say, not so much fun with all the events, over the last few months. So hopefully this one will work out for us. So Peter, have a great stream, and get those cues in the log. W2JZ, Whiskey 9 Kilo Hotel Papa, 7-3, buddy.
Oh, Roger, Ray. Thanks a lot. And you're absolutely right. I think that we ran an event for 31 days here, the Kilo Hotel Heroes, K2H, and I ran it for 31 straight days and streamed for 31 days. And I got to tell you, we had a number of young people said, hey, what the heck are you doing? What's that all about? And we didn't think that you use some of the modern technology and sound cards that we use. So we got a few people that are taking some of the technician courses. So that's absolutely what we're trying to do. The more we can get those STEM initiatives up front and center, the happier we are. And that's precisely why, same here, why we're doing it as well. So that's great. Good job. And, hey, enjoy field day. Hopefully we can exchange contacts there. Be well. Thanks so much, Ray. Thanks for the time. 73s and good health to you. Be well. Roger, thank you so much for your patience. Pop Alpha 3, really thank you for that. Go ahead with your full call. Pop Alpha 3, this is Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Yeah, Roger. Good afternoon, sir. This is Papa Alpha 3, Golf Tango Oscar. Papa America 3, Golf Tango Oscar.
Roger, Rene, thank you. Pop Alpha 3, Golf Tango Oscar. Rene, I do recognize your call and I believe, and your name certainly, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Rene, you've made a lot of contacts with Ray, W2RE, in his superstation in Maine. I may be wrong on that. I apologize if I am, but you got a nice signal, 5 and 7, Rene, 5 and 7 here into Long Island, New York. And you know the name is Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo. And again, thank you. My apologies, Renee, for the long QSO, but thank you so much for hanging in there. Pop Alpha 3, Golf Tango Oscar. This is Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. Over to you, Renee.
Yeah, thank you very much. Nice to meet you again. Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. Papa Alpha 3, Golf Tango Oscar. Thank you very much for picking me up. There's a lot of pure Mexico on the frequency, but I copy you very well. You say your report is 5858, beautiful signal coming in, but the Cure Mexico is very heavy at the moment. I think we have also a very short skip this evening, but you break the pilot. I can hear you very nice. I forget your name, maybe you can give me your name and then it's over. There was a lot of Cure Mexico, QSL.
Oh, QSL, Renee, QSL. The name is Peter. Papa Echo Tango Echo Romeo Peter. Papa Echo Tango Echo Romeo Peter. QSL, Renee?
QSL, Peter. Thank you very much, Peter. Okay, I think we have a beautiful propagation this evening, Peter. A very nice propagation. Okay, Peter, I'd like to go. Many people's calling you. Thank you for the nice contact. I hope I meet you again soon on the event, Peter. W2, Juliet Victor, the best wishes to you and your family, Peter. For Papa America 3, Golf Tango Oscar, 73s, and stay safe. Bye-bye.
No, thank you, Renee. Your signal went up to a 5 and 9, Renee, just so you know. So propagation, yeah, is short, but we're doing very, very well here. And thank you so much again for your patience. By the way, your QRZ page is very entertaining. Very put a smile on my face. I like the Mickey Mouse references, and I like the PA3 GTO QRP station, which is blowing up. So it looks fantastic, Renee. Thanks a lot for the humor on the QRZ page. That really is a nice page. Renee, 73s to you. Thank you so very, very, very much for taking the time to stop by and say hello, and I look forward to speaking with you again. The best of 73s, and again, thank you so much, so much for your patience. Thank you. 73s, Renee. Be well, be safe out there.
Thank you very much. Was a pleasure talking to you, Peter. I hope you have a nice evening and a good year, Peter. And all the best wishes to you and your family. From Papa Alpha 3, Golf Tango Oscar. 73, sir, Peter. Bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye, Renee. Thanks so much. Enjoy the QSO, and be safe there in the Netherlands. It's a beautiful country, and not as populated as we are here in the New York area, so I'm sure things are a little bit better there. QRZDX, if anyone is around, this is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo. QRZ.
Hi, Peter. Alpha Bravo 4, Alpha November.
This is Oscar November 7, Tokyo, Canada.
Roger. Stand by, Oscar November 7 and other stations. Thanks so much. Good afternoon to you, sir. Alpha Bravo 4, Alpha November, about 15 over 9. Good to chat with you. I think your name is Joseph or Joe, whatever you prefer, and I think you're in Alabama. My beam is not very close to you. It's more geared towards Europe, but nevertheless a good signal, and good to talk with you again. I think we spoke on the 19th of January of this year. So over to you, Joe. Thanks for stopping in. AB4AN, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor.
Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor, AB4AN. Good to hear you on again, Peter. Fantastic signal in Alabama, 5 and 9 true. Great audio. I'm taking a microphone out for a spin to see if it fits with this flex, so you can let me know how it sounds, if there's any problems. And I've been kind of tweaking with the EQ here. It's a Heil PR 781. And been having a little bit of problem with RF getting into the rig, but hopefully you can tell me if I fix that or not. In any case, great signal into Alabama, like I said, 5 and 9, and I won't hold you too long. I hear you've got some DX coming back to you, so back to you, Peter, over.
Oh, not a problem at all. Not a problem, Joe, at all. Your audio, I'm very happy with it. It's very nice. It's really filling the room with nice highs and lows. In fact, if you'd like to confirm that, you can go onto my Twitch TV page. I'm streaming live right now, so anytime you'd like, you can go over to today's broadcast, and at 28 minutes or so, that's where we're on the air here, and you can listen to your audio as you're transmitting, and it sounds fine. It really, really does, and certainly that PR781. That's a really nice microphone, and I think it's doing very, very well with the rig for sure, and. I've got the Flex 6400 here, and I'm using the INRAD desk mic, the DMS. I think it's DMS-1, and I'm doing that because I'm streaming, and I'm streaming on 2 different audio sources. So I'm using that mic. But no, you sound fine. I think the equalization that you set is fine. I wouldn't do anything to it. When you listen to your audio, Joe, perhaps you can just tweak it a little bit if you would like. If you'd like to do any audio tests now, my pleasure. ON7, stand by, but I'd be more than happy to do any testing that you like, Joe. Go ahead.
Well, if it's not necessary, we won't belabor it, but if you think it needs more highs or more lows or whatever, you can tell me that, and I can adjust it real quick. Over.
Roger, thank you. I think a little more highs. I would give a tweak, just a tweak, a little more highs. Let's see how that sounds, Joe. Go ahead.
Okay, there are a few more highs right there, Peter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the highs, over.
I like that a lot. I really do. There was a little bit of, I'm going to say, it's a little, now I'm not going to say overmodulation, but the signal started to bend a little bit. I like it now where it is, and that was a perfect tweak. And again, you can listen to your audio on the Twitch TV. Just go to my page, and it'll take you over to my Twitch stream, Joe. Go ahead.
Okay, I will definitely do that, and I've turned the mic gain down just a little bit to make sure that it didn't overmodulate. Hopefully that cured it. Over.
Yeah, that's fine. That's doing a really good job. And I had problems also with RF, and this Flex Radio, from what I've read, clearly can cause that. So I put a few ferrites around, and also around the microphone as well, and that helped a great deal as well. But your situation is a bit different. Anyway, a pleasure talking with you today. If there's anything more I can do, let me know. If you want to set up a schedule to do some more testing, it'd be my pleasure, really. And by the way, which Flex Radio are you using, Joe? Go ahead.
This is a Flex 5008 that I had in the closet, Peter. I got it out because the Flex 5000A VU unit was giving me a little bit of trouble. Over.
Okay, understand. No, fine. Okay, well that's great. It's an oldie but a goodie, doing a fine job. Well, anyway, thanks a lot for taking the time to say hello. My pleasure, and I wish you the best. And again, if there's anything more I can do, let me know, Joe. Over to you for any finals. AB4 Alpha November, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor.
Okay, Peter, thank you very much, and thank the station for standing by for me, and I wish you a great day. Be safe there. We don't have any problems here in this little rural county. We're all running around like nothing happened. So, it is what it is. W2, I think it's JV, AB4AM. Bye-bye, Peter.
Yeah, I'd like to run around like nothing happened. My wife just had her hair done, Joe, and it was so uncomfortable. These folks having to wearing their masks, these hairstylists, and having to cut hair, and the mask getting in their way. The N99, whatever mask they're using, I'm not sure. Just are not, well, they're more fashionable, I guess. It looked good, but you know what? They should have worn the surgical mask. They would have been a lot better off. But yeah, it's not quite that way here yet, and it's going to be this way for a while. But as long as everybody pays attention, we'll minimize this thing and get through it. But yeah, my sister-in-law in Washington State, like yourself, she's running around as if it's a normal day. So I certainly envy that. And no problem at all. Yeah, be a pleasure to help in any time, any way, and no apologies necessary for the DX stations. I think they understand, especially if they know me, Mr. Cuso. 73s to you, Joe. Thanks a lot for the time, and again, anything more I can do, let me know. 73, sir. Be well, and I know you're going to be okay there in your state. 73, sir.
73s, Peter. Thank you.
My pleasure. My apology stations, ON7. If you're there, we'd love to talk with you. ON7. Something. This is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor.
Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. This is Kilo Foxtrot 2 Golf Victor. Go ahead.
Golf Victor, stand by. I'm really working DX right now, and I apologize for working some other stations. ON7, could you give me your call again, please? Go ahead.
Flight back to you, this is Ocean November 7, Tokyo Charlie, and 2000 listening to you.
Roger, thank you so much. Ocean November 7, Tango Charlie, thank you. A very good evening to you, and my apologies for taking so much time on the other QSO, but I wanted to help a guy out who was testing his microphone. Unfortunately, there was another station here, and no problem with that. We can pick up the U.S. station again. You doubled, exactly. You doubled because his call was similar to yours, I guess, with the last couple of digits. Would you once again be good enough to give me your name again, please? Go ahead.
My name is Chris, like Charlie, Hotel Romeo, Italy, Sarah, Tango. Chris, QNL.
Chris, thank you so much. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. And I'm looking at your QRZ page, and that's one beautiful picture. It doesn't look like Belgium, though. It looks like you were on vacation somewhere. Beautiful. That's for sure. But I'm looking at your page, and I really enjoy looking at QRZ pages, and that's quite an array that you have. A very nice-looking array, and you're giving a nice background of what you have. And when we conclude our conversation, I'd like to look that over. Is some of those antennas, Chris, is some of those homebrew antennas? Go ahead.
No, it's from Germany. It's an antenna from Germany. I work with the KLM, the KT3 it's also from KLM. But this is from OptiBeam. It's a 9-element beam from OptiBeam. But it's working very well. I'm happy with it. It's new on the OptiBeam. It's good. It's simple. It's not complex. But during storm and bad weather, no problem. The KT3 is fine. Alpha. You have 4K.
But it's very complete. I think there's more around 800 species. And if you have a storm, I had many storms and thunderstorms and have some damage on my antenna. So that's the reason that we want it. But
Roger, Chris. Yeah, though that the OptiBeam is very well made and really is constructed so that it can withstand a lot of weather that's thrown at it. The beam I'm using is made by JK Antennas, and it's an Avasa 5, and it has a very similar construction to the OptiBeam, and the KLM also is one heck of a beam as well. By the way, Chris, your signal's about a 5 and 7, some QSB there at the end, but hopefully the signal is holding up. Chris, could you also tell me what part of Belgium you're in, Chris? What part of Belgium you're in? Go ahead.
I'm living in the northwestern part of Belgium on the coastline. So I'm living near the very old historical city of Bruges, Brugge. That's an old city. So you have Brussels in the middle, we speak French in the middle, and then we have the Flemish part in the north on the coastline, and you have Knockout Bruges, QSL.
Oh, QSL, beautiful part of Belgium, and certainly helps with your takeoff angle on your signal, especially when propagation is not very good today. But you're doing a fantastic job, really are. Well, thanks for that, Chris, and thanks so much for the time, and thanks again for your patience. I appreciate that very, very much. So I'll give it over to you. If you have any other questions of me, please let me know, Chris. But meanwhile, I do hope we can talk again. And again, thank you for being so patient. Oscar November 7, Tango Charlie, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. Over to you for final, Chris.
Okay, Roger, also not long. I was very happy with the contact. It was not a very short contact, it was a little bit longer, and I find it nice to talk with something. So greetings from now to maybe later on in Belgium, and have a nice day, and enjoy your weekend. Greetings from Belgium, from 6 November 7, to start a clear with you. Goodbye.
73 is always a pleasure, and always a pleasure to talk to the wonderful people in a wonderful country in Belgium. Thanks so very much, Chris, for the time. The U.S. station, stand by, DX, the U.S. station that called me with a similar call. If you're still there, come on in. This is Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor, copy Kilo Foxtrot 2, Golf Victor, Jack in Syosset, New York, over.
Oh, hi, Jack. Welcome again. And Jack, thanks so much for being patient. I really, it doesn't matter. I work DX and work local, but mostly it's nice to work friends, especially local friends. What a phenomenal signal. Really great audio. I mean, the signal is understood to be window rattling, Jack, but the audio, tell me, just tell me what kind of audio configuration that you have there, Jack, and the rig you're using. I forgot what it was. I didn't make notes of that, but you sound just fantastic. And thanks, Jack, for your patience. Yeah, your call was similar to the call in Belgium, so that's why we had a little confusion. Sorry for that, Jack. Kilo Fox 2, Golf Victor, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. Over to you, Jack.
Right there, Peter. Fine business. Yeah, I'm using a very, very old radio, and I'll explain to you why. I'm using the Kenwood TS690S, which is my radio that I use, when I'm operating the remote base here, because I can operate this whole station via remote. Normally, I'm not running very, very much power. Right now, we're running about 100 watts into the TS690S. The antenna is all the same. It's a 6-element Force 12 monoband. They're up at 100 feet, fed with 7/8 hardline and Superflex, and it's got a 1-to-1 match, so you shouldn't have any problem, or anybody should have any problem hearing me. Normally, I would be on my Yaesu FTDX 101MP with the VO1000 linear amplifier. However, the brand new power supply on the Yaesu FTDX 101MP, for some unknown reason, it's less than a month old, crapped out on me, and now I'm stuck using a 40-year-old radio, and hopefully you can hear this puny, weak signal. Over.
Oh, stop it now. It's window rattling. I really thought you were running a lot of power, but clearly, the Force 12 is a phenomenal antenna, and it's doing all the heavy lifting. And I have now my 570D, I wonder that, you're older than me. I bought the 570D in 95, Jack, and your rig probably goes back to, 88, 89, correct me on that. But one thing that we always could depend on with our Kenwoods is the audio, and your audio certainly is no disappointment. It's Kenwood quality. It's just fantastic, and so you could be running 5 watts, and that audio would get you through. Are you using any kind of equalization or any kind of compression roll? I'm curious about that. Probably not. You're probably just using some menu items, and that's the extent of it. Well, that's a shame. My friend, I don't know if you know K2RB, Rick. Rick was former president of the Long Island Mobile Amateur Radio Club, but we won't we won't hold that against him. But Rick, K2RB, he's in the Glen Cove, and he, I think, just recently picked up the FTDX 101P, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and hopefully he doesn't have problems. Did you go on the forums, and did other people have any issues with the power supply, and was there any warning before the power supply quit? Curious about that, but I had the antenna that I'm using. I don't know if I've mentioned it to you in the past. It's the JK antennas. They took over Force 12. I had the Force 12 C3SS Junior when I lived in Massapequa, and I really liked that. Small footprint, just a 12-foot boom. And so he took over the company, Ken Garg, and I bought now his Navasa 5. So I've had that up there about a year on the tower, and I really love it. It's really well built in a similar way to the C3SS. But, of course, I don't know if yours had pop rivets or not, the way my Junior did. I'm not sure. I don't think you did, but curious about that, if it did or not. Doing a great job, Jack. Always a pleasure talking with you. Back over to you, sir.
Yeah, very, very good. Yeah, I don't believe it has pop rivets. The antenna is excellent. It's the best antenna, to me, out there. 47-foot boom and 6 full-size elements on 20, and it shares the boom with 3 full-size elements on 40, and it works magnificently. And I'm using the Heil GM5 mic. That's all I'm in. And there's not, believe you me, there's nothing fancy. And I can work you with my HT with this. And I have another fellow ham next to me who's dying to speak to you. His name is Ken. So say hello to Ken. What's your call sign?
KC2ZUI.
KC2ZUI. I'm going to hand the microphone over to him. Here you go. What's that?
How you doing? This is Kenny at KC2ZUI.
Kenny, I'm doing fine. This is one way to cool off here. Have the air conditioning on, the shades drawn, and just enjoying the magic of amateur radio. I was tuning around different bands today. I do enjoy FT8, but it was on 30, on 17, on 10 meters. Not a lot of activity on FT8 today, so decided to go up to my old trusty 20 meters and have some fun, and we are having fun. Jack, again, did you say that your C3SS, 47-foot boom, yeah, that's bodacious. That's a big deal. But did you say that how many elements did you have on 20? I think I heard 6, but that sounds like too many. But I just have 2 on each of the 5 bands. But Kenny, thank you. KC2ZUI. That'd be a little bit of a tongue twister on CW, but it's very nice to have visits by other hams coming to the shacks and trying out the rig. So, Kenny, thanks a lot for saying hello. Enjoy it very much. I assume that you live in the neighborhood, but maybe not. Let me know where you live and where you operate out of, Kenny. Go ahead. This is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor with KF2GV. Over to you, Kenny.
Yeah, I operate out of North Amityville. I have my rig in the factory at my office. Normally, I'm there during the week, but on the weekends, I'm out in Smithtown. We belong to the club up at Huntington. I'm actually new at this. Jack is an old-timer. KC2ZUI out.
Yeah, Jack, you're an old-timer like I am, too. We got our license, and I got mine in 64, but... yeah, I understand. North Amityville. I came, spent 19 years, Kenny, in Massapequa. I really love the South Shore. So we have an interest in, at one point in the near future, perhaps to move back to the South Shore. And Amityville certainly is one of the target areas. Just love the neighborhood and love the housing and love the proximity to the water as well. Really nice. And yeah, Smithtown is also nice. Certainly that's in my neighborhood. And we looked in Smithtown Heights, some nice houses with some acreage. So we like that a lot. Here in Northport, we've got about an acre of land, and that's something that's for us a treat. It really is, especially coming from the South Shore. So I'll turn it over to you, Kenny. Then you can turn it over to Jack. And thanks a lot for saying hello. I really do appreciate that, Kenny. KC2ZUI with KF2GV, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Over to you, Kenny, then switch it over to Jack. Go ahead.
You got it. My factory is over where the new old Zons Airport used to be. and we've got an antenna, a diamond antenna, or a 300 over there. I'm not nearly as sophisticated as Jack. I'm using the Yaesu 991A, which seems to do very well in my office. But Jack's got a really nice setup here. He's got a shack, and he's got an antenna that can probably reach all the way around the world. So talk to you soon. Thank you much. KT2GUI.
Okay, this is KF2GV back on the microphone. So anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm only running this Pino whistle, which if you have any, if you can listen on 440, I can give you a frequency. You can actually hear how well you're coming out. Over.
Well, thank you for that. No, there may be some more DX, so I'll stand by for that, but we'll do that another day when it's a little quieter. But yeah, if you looked at the propagation numbers, Jack, today, it'd say turn the rig off. Let's try something else. But it's still fun, and there are a couple of more stations maybe we can work. And Kenny, a pleasure speaking with you. Yeah, I know the Zanz Airport area and the Diamond antenna. I mean, that works well. It gets the job done, and the I-91 also is fine. So as long as it gets out and it fits the space you're in, that's all that really counts. So really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Kenny. Thanks, Jack, and I'll send it over to you for a final, and look forward to talking with you again anytime, Jack. Always a pleasure. And yeah, we were a member of the Lockfield Amateur Radio Club for a while, and we probably will join again because we use the Smithtown Amateur Radio Emergency Services net, the Smithtown division, and we use their rig and their repeater, and they've really done a fine job in upgrading it. Anyway, over to you, Jack, for a final. Kenny, a very good afternoon to you, and thanks a lot for getting on the air. Appreciate that. Look forward to talking to you guys again. KF2GV, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, you're an older ham than me. Older ham, meaning 64. I didn't come on until 74. And 64, I was still on the chicken band on a channel. I'm trying to remember the channels. It was 9, 13, whatever. And I was KOD 7072. That was my call sign. I never forgot it, obviously, and didn't become a ham operator until 74. So you got it. I'm the age here. I'm 70 and a half. 70 and a half is my age. So we're rebroadcasting you right now on 70 centimeters. So FYI and all that good stuff. So go work some DX. Have yourself a ball. I've only worked 220 different DX entities. I understand there's about 348. So I only have 220, and that's it. So you take care, Pete, and best of 73s to you from KF2GV in North Syosset, Oyster Bay Cove, Long Island, New York, off and clear. 73s.
Oh, thanks, Jack. Yeah, you're in a beautiful area there in Oyster Bay Cove. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And I envy the sea breezes that you get. By the time the breeze gets up here on the North Shore, it kind of peters out, if you will. But no, 220 is a good number. It sure is, and it's going to be obviously hard for us to get up to the DXCC honor roll, but it can be done, and especially with some more special event stations that are coming on the air and contesting. But what the heck, it's just fun. And yeah, we got our license when we were in high school. I went to a technical high school, Delahanty Institute, and they certainly pushed science and technology, which I'm grateful for. So yeah, I got it early on, but enjoyed it ever since, really. And yeah, a lot of our friends here that are in amateur radio came out of CB. So it's a good stepping stone for sure. Well, 73s to you, Jack and Kenny. Thanks a lot for the time. Be well and be safe out there, and we got to continue to pay attention to the guidelines, and we're doing the best we can. So 73s, guys, thanks a lot for the time. Be well and be safe, and have a great rest of the day on Sunday. Thanks a lot, guys, for the time.
All right, thanks for your time, and the best of 73s to you. Enjoy the DX while it lasts. From KF2GV, Syosset, New York, 73.
73 to you, Jack, and look forward. Hopefully you'll get that power supply fixed, and you'll have the beautiful FTDX 101 back on the air. Any stations at all, this is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor calling CQDX. CQ calling CQDX, CQDX, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victoria, CQDX and listening.
Whiskey Delta 4, Mike Golf Papa.
CQ calling CQDX, CQDX, CQ calling CQDX. It's Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. CQ Delta X-ray, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victoria, W2 JV listening.
Golf India 4 Victor Kilowatt Sierra.
The Victor Kilowatt Sierra, come in, please.
Golf India 4 Victor Kilowatt Sierra, over.
Roger, thank you. Boy, you're like a local station. Golf India 4, a Victor Kilowatt Sierra. Thanks a lot for the repeat on the call. You're about 15 over 9, and tell me that you're in Northern Ireland. It almost like you would be in Northport, New York here. So you got a great signal. My name is Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo, and I want to offer my apologies for the long QSOs, but nevertheless, thanks for being so patient. So, are you in Northern Ireland? You got a phenomenal signal. Again, the name is Peter. Back it over to you. Golf India 4, Victor Kilo Sierra, a Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Golf India 4 Victor Kilowatt Sierra. Yes, I'm in the north of Ireland. And the county is County Tyrone. The town's Strabane, 14 miles south of Derry City. You also a beautiful signal. You're 20 over 9. Very strong audio. I am sure you've guessed that there's something wrong with my voice. I'm a neck breather. I lost my voice box 19 years ago. So back to you, Peter, over.
Roger. No, copying loud and clear. One thing I didn't get was your name. Could you repeat your name for me again? Go ahead.
My name is Pascal. Papa, Alpha, Sierra, Charlie, Hotel, Alpha, Lima. Over.
Pashkal. Am I pronouncing that right? Pashkal, is that correct?
Roger.
Oh, Pashkal. Beautiful name, Pashkal. And let me tell you how proud I am. You know, it's easy for us here to get on amateur radio when, everything is just cooking along. But someone like yourself that is certainly, working with a challenge, I got to tip my hat to you. I don't have my hat on now, but I'll tip it to you nevertheless, Pashkal, for getting on the air in your situation and enjoying amateur radio. And I couldn't be prouder to hear you on the air and to really put your signal on the air and push through the difficulties that you're going through. Speaking from your neck, and it's just fantastic, Pashkal, and you're doing a great job. No problem whatsoever. In fact, your audio. Speaking this way is even more powerful than maybe speaking the normal way, Pashkal. But thanks so much, though, for making contact with us. I appreciate that. How's your weather there today? How's it doing there today in Tyrone in Northern Ireland? Back over to you, Pashkal.
It's been a beautiful day today. The temperatures I don't know offhand, but we're no rain today. Lots of sunshine. And we're looking forward to more sunshine, aye. I'm running these 70 tons at the moment. It's a Shure microphone, desk microphone. The antenna is a Chris Class 7 element, about 70 feet off the ground. That's the working conditions here. Right, Peter, I won't hold it. I don't like to stay on. Get a break now and again with the boys. I was always a great 80-meter man, but somebody I just can't seem to get ready to work it now. 70 game praise, Peter. Thanks for the contact. Bye-bye.
Oh, Pashkal, fantastic. 20 over 9, and I'm not kidding you. 20 over 9. The Cushcraft 7 element beam is doing one heck of a job. And thanks for taking the time really to make the call. And sorry I extended it a little bit, but everything is loud and clear. And the microphone is really complementing the rig very, very well. Pashkal, be well and be safe. And I do look forward to hopefully making contact with you again. This has been a real pleasure. And once again, I'm so very, very proud of you. It's certainly a living example of people that have issues that sometimes just give up because they feel that they aren't up for the challenge. And so very proud that you certainly have pushed through and are on the air in amateur radio. And that is just a fantastic element of what you've done. So 73s to you, Pashkal. Enjoy the day. Many, many sunny days ahead for you. And be safe there and be well. And hopefully the virus will minimize in a very short period of time. Thanks a lot, Pascal, for the time. 73 to you, sir. Be well and be safe. Thanks so much.
Roger, Peter. Well, I'm a young lad. I'm only 84. 73, Peter. Bye-bye.
Only 84. Well, you know what? You're young at heart, and we know amateur radio keeps us young. 73s to you. That even gets better, Pascal. 84 years old. God bless you. Be well, 73s from beautiful Northern Ireland. Cheers and beers, as they say, 73s. QRZ-DX. This is Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. Roger. Got a bunch of stations. As they say, we have got a gaggle of stations. But Golf Oscar Kilo first. Golf Oscar Kilo. Come on back with your full call, please.
Germany 0 Kilo Echo November. Japan America.
Stand by, Japan America. Again, I'm sorry that another station was on your call. Golf Oscar Kilo, once again with your call, please.
0 Kilo Echo November.
I think is it Golf 0 Kilo Oscar November? Go ahead.
Negative Kilo Echo November. Over.
Okay, got it now. Sorry about that. Good, there you go. Thanks a lot. Oh, yes, we spoke. I'm looking at your picture here on the QRZ page with you and your sunglasses. And I remember, yeah, we spoke April 10th. And I think we also spoke a couple of times, Kenneth. I think we spoke a few times during my special event station, Kilo 2 Heroes, if I'm not mistaken. Golf 0 Kilo India November. That's Ken. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor Peter. Over to you, Ken.
Yes, okay. Just correct the call sign, please. It's Kilo Echo November. The name and call sign are both the same, over.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I said it differently than I saw it, so I have it right. Golf 0 Kilo Echo November. Got that right. Thanks, Ken.
That's okay. Anyway, nice to hear you once more. I hope you're well, over.
Yeah, we're doing well, Ken. We really are. Hopefully QSB didn't take your signal out. Doing fine and enjoying the summer, I guess the second official day of summer here. And your signal, by the way, was 5 and 9, Ken, and it dropped a little bit. Hopefully you can still hear me. Golf 0 Kilo. Stand by 1 second. Just had to correct Kilo. Echo November. Had to correct something on my log here. Golf 0 Kilo Echo November. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Over to you, Ken, for any finals.
Yes, okay then. I don't know what to say, but you finally got the name right anyway, that's the main thing. Oh, I'm sorry, yes. You're 5 and 9, 59. I'm hearing you quite well, over.
Well, yeah, no, very, very happy with that. Propagation, Ken, has improved a little bit in the last hour and a half that I've been on the air. So as summer, as we're getting more into the summer solstice here, it's certainly improving, I think, later in the day. We're now at certainly 3:53 local time, daylight savings time, 1953 UTC. So you're in your sunset, 7, about 10 o'clock there or so. So hopefully you're doing well there. And I forgot the operating conditions you've got there. Tell me the rig and the antenna that you're using, Ken. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm running 400 watts using the PW1, the solid state amplifier from ICOM. Transceivers also from ICOM, the 7850. And the antenna is a 3-element monoband Yagi, which is from Germany, over.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, the PW1, that's a very nice amp from Icon. And certainly the 7850, that explains why your audio is so clear, so crystal clear, and so easy to understand. Doing a great job, really, really are. And the 3 elements, always fine. Is that the Opti beam that you have there, Ken? Go ahead.
Sorry, could you repeat that, over?
Yes, Ken. Is that the Opti beam that you're using? Over.
No, it's one 3-element monoband I'm not sure what it's made by or just supplied by, but it's from Wymore. Just the element monoband, the W3 something or other over.
Oh, okay. Doing a fine job, Ken. It really is. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for being patient, taking the time to say hello. Always a pleasure. And I look forward to many, many more conversations with you. And I'll send it over to you for any finals, any questions that you might have. By the way, I'm using the Flex 6400, and I'm using the Navasa 5 antenna made by JK Antennas. And I'm using the SPE Expert amplifier right now, about a kilowatt. About a kilowatt, 986 watts. So hopefully that whole package is helping. Over to you, Ken, for any finals. And thanks a lot for correcting me several times on your call. I won't forget that again. Golf Zero Kilo Echo November, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor.
Whiskey 2 Juliet Echo, these are okay, yeah? Yes, okay. As I said earlier, nice to hear you once again, and you're sounding very nice and clear. Lovely 509 signal. There's not many nice signals on the band at the moment. The band's not as good as I would like it by any means. And there's only 3 stations from the USA I've heard. And you're the best of sounding then. So thanks again, and have a nice day. Stay safe and stay healthy there. G0KM, goodbye.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I'm staying as healthy as I can. I haven't gotten a haircut in 3 months, so luckily my hair is receding, so it's not too bad. I've given myself some trims, but yeah, we're being as safe and careful as we can. And thanks a lot for your compliments on the signal that I'm putting out on the air. I got to thank so many people that have helped me put up this station, and it really is a pleasure. K2D, one of the fellows, Tom, who helped a great deal, George, N2GA, my good friend and mentor who passed away March the 5th, November 2, Mike Uniform November, and certainly K2RB. Radio Bravo, all put together their efforts. And there's nothing like the fellowship and the teamwork in amateur radio. We certainly see that on field day, and certainly this field day is going to be different, Ken, than other field days. But we look forward to getting together again when things become more normal. 73s to you, Ken, a pleasure. Thanks a lot for taking the time to say hello. I really appreciate that. 73s, Ken, be well.
Yes, bye-bye.
Thanks so much. Bye, and enjoy the rest of the day in England. 73s. QRZ DX, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor.
Ocean, Norway, 7, Hotel, Japan, America.
Roger, thank you so much. Oscar November 7, Hotel Japan, America. Thank you. I believe your name is Johan, and you're in certainly Belgium. Oosterbergen, don't know if I have that right. Great signal, 10/9, maybe stronger, Johan. My name is Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo. Hope I'm right on the name and location. Pronunciation, well, I can't guarantee that. Over to you, sir. Oscar November 7, Hotel Juliet Alpha. This is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. My name is Peter, by the way. Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo. Over to you, sir.
Roger, Peter, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor in Northport, New York. Very good afternoon. Thanks for answering my call, and nice to work you for the first time today. My name is Johan. You have that correct. Juliet Oscar Hotel Alpha November. You have the call also correct. ON7 Hotel Japan America. And we are located in the city of Oostbergen. That's in the northeast part of Belgium. We are quite close near the border of the Netherlands and Germany. And I am surprised to hear North America this time of the day that loud. You're at 10 dB over 9, loud and clear. QSL?
Oh, QSL. Yeah, you're strong. 10/9, Johan. Very, very strong with very, very solid audio. Just sound fantastic. And I guess propagation has picked up. The ionosphere is working for us, it seems. And I'm looking at your QRZ page. And by the way, nice job on constructing your QRZ page. And I really enjoyed looking at the map of Belgium, so I know exactly where you are on the North Sea. And that's cheating. That's cheating, Johan. You got too good a signal coming off the North Sea. It's I know the dot looks like you're right on the North Sea, but I'm sure you're inland a little bit. But thanks a lot for the detail on that, really, very much. Appreciate that. Tell me the rig that you're using, your operating conditions, the antenna you're using, because you're doing one phenomenal job. Back over to you, Johan. ON7, Hotel Juliet Alpha, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Roger, Peter. Well, thanks for the flowers, but I have to give you the flowers back, though. You're also 10 dB over 9, so no problem whatsoever to copy you. The rig here is Yaesu FT2000 from Yaesu. Antenna is from OptiBeam. It's the OB11-5 on the tower, about 60 feet high. That's about 16 meters. Right now running about 500 watts, about a half a kW. And I am using an Emeratron AL80B, which supports that. Roger?
Oh, Roger, all of that. Yeah, the Yaesu, the FT2000, that's doing a phenomenal job, and the OptiBeam always delivers for sure. And I certainly enjoy the AL80B. I'm now using an SPE Expert, the 1.5, and I'm running about a kilowatt right now to a Navasa 5 antenna, which is made by JK Antennas, and it looks very similar in its construction to the OptiBeam. It just made very, very well, and very great, very, very terrific components. But yeah, that's doing a very good job. I'm also using the Flex radio, the Flex 6400M, and along with that, I have a Tri-X 70-foot tower, and we're up at about 300 feet or so in terms of our altitude, so that helps a little bit, really. But really a great signal from your part of Belgium, and certainly one of my favorite people. I follow Formula One is Jos Verstappen, and certainly his son. Just great, wonderful people, great emissaries for the sport of Formula One, and just great town. Certainly Belgium has put together some very, very, very wonderful drivers for sure, really. But great location there for you, and thanks a lot for taking the time to say hello, Johan. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed this short QSO. So over to you for any final comments, Johan. ON7, Hotel Juliet Alpha, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Roger, Peter. Yeah, excellent copy. Well, yeah, thanks very much for answering my call. My pleasure again to work you for the first time today. And I say again, don't worry about the equipment. It's doing a fantastic job for you. By the way, I just signed your web on QRZ.com. Maybe you can do the same on my QRZ page. Just sign the web page if you don't mind, if it's not too much to ask. 73's Peter, and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Over here it's exactly 10 o'clock in the evening, so the weekend is almost finished, and we have to go back to work again tomorrow. Too bad, time flies when you're having fun, that's for sure. 73's, take care. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor in New York from Ocean, Norway 7, Hotel Japan, America. 73's, bye-bye.
Oh, 73s. Yeah, Ocean is very appropriate, being close to the North Sea. Yes, I'll be more than happy to sign on the QRZ page. No problem at all whatsoever. And, yeah, we're looking forward also, believe it or not, to say that we're looking forward to going back to work. Certainly, there's a lot of phases here. We're in phase 3 here in New York City. So we're not ready yet for businesses, for offices to open up yet. So hopefully that'll come soon. But yeah, you enjoy your work because it's a sign of having good health and things are somewhat normal. So do the best you can. And yeah, we're really having a good time here. And this keeps us certainly well distanced here on amateur radio. Johan, my pleasure. Thanks so much for the time. 73s, be well. Good health to you, and really enjoyed the QSO. 73, sir. Have a nice day, rest of the day, and certainly a good week. 73s.
Okay, thanks, Pete. Talk to you later. And well, actually, I prefer to stay at home and not go to work. But if you don't go to work, you don't have the money to have all that good equipment to have fun with ham radio. So I think it's better to go and work every day. 73s. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Johan, you're right. Yeah, we can't ask the government, hey, Mr. Government, we're amateur radio operators, and we really enjoy this. Could you give us some sustenance to continue? I don't think that would work. 73s, Johan, a real pleasure. QRZ-DX, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. I think there's a Papa Gulf station. I believe a Papa Gulf station. Go ahead.
Papa Delta 3, Lima Papa Alpha.
Roger, thank you. Papa Delta 3, Lima Papa Alpha. Very good. Good evening to you. You're about a 5 and 7, but very copyable. My name is Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo. Thanks so much for responding to the call. Back over to you, sir. Hopefully I have the call correct. Papa Delta 3, Lima Papa Alpha. This is Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Yeah, Roger, Peter. Okay, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. Yes, okay. Yes, that's correct. My call sign is correct. My name is Lawrence, like Lima Oscar Uniform Whiskey Romeo Echo November Sierra. My QDH is in the southwestern part of the Netherlands near Rotterdam City.
Roger, Lorenz. Thank you so much. And yes, I see on the QRZ page, it looks like, I'm not sure of the pronunciation, Masluis, Massluis. Maybe you could pronounce that for me. But yes, southwest part of the Netherlands. I got that. Good. Your signal's holding up strong. What kind of antenna are you using there, Lorenz? Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. As you can see on the picture on QRZ.com, it's a dipole antenna. It's a dipole antenna, a Frixel Fox Bravo 1-3, and it's 5 meters high. It's on an apartment, and it's on the roof of the floor. And in Holland, everything is flat, so no obstacles in front of me, behind me. So I'm in very good position and a very good situation, Peter. Roger?
Oh, I could see that. Yeah, I'm looking now clearly at your QRZ page. And clearly, yeah, look at that dipole antenna. It looks like it's trapped. Correct me if I'm wrong. It looks like the antenna is trapped. But clearly, I could see the horizon. And certainly, you don't have any buildings at all in your way. So I could see that. Fantastic job. Lorenz, are you using an amplifier? Go ahead.
No, I'm using nothing. I'm using just 25 whiskeys. It's unbelievable. That is for sure, my friend. So I'm a very QRZ station, Roger.
That's Lorenz. That's not fair. It's not fair. 25 watts, and your signal is hovering around a 5 and 7. That's fantastic. Well, you know, like they say in the real estate business, you know what they say? It's location, location, location. So let's keep your location quiet, because I'm sure that a lot of amateur radio operators right now are jotting down your address. And they're saying, gee, I'd love to live there, Lorenz. I'd love to live there. What do you think about that? Go ahead.
Yeah, there are much people who are jealous of me, yes. There are lots of people jealous, yes. I have lots of buildings in my neighborhood, so, yes. When I'm looking out of my window, I can see the cities of The Hague and Rotterdam. So, about 20 or 30 kilometers from here, and I can see the buildings from there, Roger.
Wow, Hague and Rotterdam. That's incredible. Tell me, Lorenz, what is that building that that's looking in the future? It looks like a grayish building. It looks like some kind of a complex, an apartment building or something like that. What is that structure in the distance, Lorenz? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's just an apartment, also apartment where people live, yeah. And that apartment building is 8 floors, it's 8 floors, so it's 2 floors higher than my location, Roger?
Okay, Roger. Well, that's fine, and the antenna certainly is looking ahead of that. Well, that's great. It really shows what you can do, and it's really a testament for someone that says, look, I've got a good location, so therefore I don't need this phenomenal expensive array to get around the world, and this certainly proves it as well, Lorenz. Well, that's great. Congratulations on really just putting out such a wonderful signal, and I'm going to look at your QRZ page in more detail, because you have some nice pictures there and some nice information that you're sharing. Lorenz, thanks so much. The best of 73s to you. I'll send it over to you for any final comments. Papa Delta 3, Lima Papa Alpha in the Netherlands. Beautiful, beautiful location. Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
You are the only one from the United States I hear. Some people from Trinidad and Tobago, but you are the only one from the United States I hear at this moment. Okay, well, thank you very much for this pleasant contact, Peter. I wish you all good luck, and I will confirm our contact via QRZ.com and London of the World. Thank you very much, Peter. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor, this is Papa Delta 3, Lima Papa Alpha. Bye-bye.
Oh, the best of 73s to you. Bye-bye to you. And yeah, that's pretty interesting that there aren't. I think it's probably because a lot of other amateur radio operators looked at the propagation numbers and said, why should I turn my rig on? And if they turned their rig on, there'd be more stations in the United States on the air. I'm sure that's what it is. So you never know. Even though the numbers may look dreadful, there's still activity that can happen. Numbers don't tell the whole story sometimes. 73s to you, Lorenz. A pleasure, really. Be well, be safe. I think we can hang around a little bit longer. This is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor, CQ calling CQDX, Whiskey 2 Japan Victoria, CQDX and listening. Roger, thank you. Thank you, stations. I hear quite a few. How about Sugar Mike 7, Lima Papa Yankee? I think I have that right. I think your name is Johan, and I think you're in the beautiful country of Sweden. And I'm not sure what city you're in. Have a good friend from Gothenburg, but I don't think, looking at the picture on QRZ, I don't think you're too close to Gothenburg because you look like you're in the countryside there with a beautiful antenna system and tower. Over to you, Johan. Hopefully I have your name right. My name is Peter. Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo, about 10 over 9. Sugar Mike 7, Lima Papa Yankee, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Roger, Peter, no problems. You're a 5 and 9 plus here. One of the big signals from the stateside this evening. It's 10 o'clock or 11 minutes past 10. Well, thank you for that. And about the city here. The town is called Jönköping. Jönköping, middle south Sweden. It's the very south end of the second biggest lake, Lake Vättern. And you also have Huskvarna. Huskvarna, famous for their automowers, chainsaws, and so on. We are working here with a Flex Radio 6500, an Expert 1K around 900 watts to a Step IR, the one you saw on the picture on QRZ.com. Instead of a homebrew 80-meter dipole that I had on that picture, I have a 6-element for 10 meters monoband Yagi and a 7-element for 6 meters. So that's on the top on the tower. Roger.
Oh, Johan, Roger. Well, you know, you have what's called sort of like the gold standard, Johan, for a setup for a very, very competitive station. And yeah, I've got the Flex 6400M that I'm using right now, and I'm using a INRAD DMS desk microphone. And the antenna that I'm using is a antenna made by JK Antennas. It's a Navasa 5, and I've got it up at about 90 feet using a Tri-X LM 470 tower. But yeah, I just love the performance, certainly of the Step IR, doing a phenomenal job. And thank you for letting me know what your town is certainly famous for. That's very nice. It really is good to hear that. And thank you for that information, Johan. Well, doing a great job. By the way, I wasn't clear on the amplifier that you're using. Could you tell me the amp you're using? Go ahead.
Well, SPE, the Expert 1K SPE, the Italian 1KW amplifier from 160 meters to 6 meters. So that's the amplifier here I'm using. Yes. What about the 6400? I had a thought about to buy one. Is it a good radio rover?
Oh, Johan, first of all, let me tell you that congratulations on the XP Expert. I just received about a month ago the XP Expert 1.5 Expert, and I'm using it here and enjoying it very, very much. I think it's doing a very nice job, and it's certainly going to help in any kind of remote work that I'm going to be doing in the future, Johan. So that's a nice coincidence. And when I received it a month ago from Rome, when they reopened the factory, I thought, well, am I going to have to dip this in alcohol? But no, only kidding. It's working out. It's working out really fine. Yes, regarding the 6400M, the 6400, I've had this now for about a year and a half, and I'm extremely pleased with it. Very, very pleased with it. I think that it's one of the best receivers in terms of the noise floor, and I think that there's no question about it from my experiences with other rigs, this has a very quiet front end, and I really think that in weak signal work, it does just an incredible job. It really does. So I'm very pleased with it. I have the M model, which has the face, which I can use it portable, and clearly the different configurations that you can set up are great. And I think that I'm really happy, certainly with the filtering and certainly with the processing as well that can be done with the 6400. So there's no doubt about it. I'm certainly a big supporter of the 6400M. Johan, go ahead.
Okay, Roger. Well, we'll see about it. I've used my 6500 for a couple of years or more than that, and I'm very satisfied with it. And I also have the Maestro, but I usually work with a computer and screen, so that's the easiest way, I think. I've had two screens and a logbook on one of them. Okay, thank you for that information. And we have nearly the same equipment, and I know about the JK antennas, nice antennas. They do cost a lot, but I wish I had one sometimes. The only thing with the Pepper is you can just use one band at a time. So that's the way it is. Okay, you know, you have a wife, and she tells me that I can't have more towers and no more antennas, so you have to be used to that. Okay, thank you. And be careful, take care, God bless, and I look forward to meet you further down the line. So thank you very much, Peter. Take care now, 73 from Sweden. W2JV, SM7LPY, thank you.
What a strong signal. Fantastic signal throughout our QSO, and certainly no question about it. The Flex delivers a great audio with the right microphone. Sound fantastic, Johan. Yes, I'm of the same in the same neighborhood in terms of the number of towers. So I want any more towers, I have to certainly sign up with a remote station and work from a remote station. You know, there's land available in Maine, which is a great location for setting up towers, and there's some stations there that really are doing a phenomenal job remotely. One of the remote ham radio, Whiskey 2 Radio Echo, has some phenomenal setups there in Maine, and clearly people that are limited to what they can construct on their properties certainly can tune into the remote ham radio and sign up with really getting a first-class station. But nevertheless, we're happy what we have, right, Johan? Well, a very good morning to you as morning is getting close to you. Thanks so much for the time, Johan. 73s, and really enjoyed the contact. And yeah, I spoke with Ken Garg, certainly the JK Antennas owner, and I said, yeah, it's too bad, just not the right exchange to send the product to Europe. It just doesn't work out. But an antenna that I love very, very much too, that gives you a little more flexibility perhaps than the stepper, it would be the OptiBeam, which is another very nice antenna, as well as the GXP antennas. I think OptiBeam and GXP are good antennas, and I'm sure you've heard of both Johan. Over to you for any finals. Sierra Mike 7, Lima, Papa Yankee, Whiskey 2, Juliet, Victor. Really enjoyed the QSO, Johan. Thank you.
Okay, Roger, Peter. Well, I think the same as you there about the JK and OptiBeam. Very nice antennas. I have had a lot of different antennas here before, and the Cushcom X9 and I also have some other Cushcraft antennas, some monoband security, and a Swedish antenna, I believe. So I have a lot during the years, but nowadays it's the ZRR, and it will be so for some time, I believe. Okay, thank you anyway, and I'll certainly send you a QSL card via the bureau, so no problem. Thank you for this very nice QSO, and do take care, stay safe. 73 from Sweden, W2JV, SM7LPY. Thank you, bye-bye.
No, well, the thanks is all mine, Johan. Just fantastic signal, at times peaking 15, 18 over 9. And I look forward to the QSL card through the Bureau. I'd love to respond to that. Well, be well, and you certainly be safe. Stay safe there, and and have a good rest of the evening. And look forward to speaking with you again soon. Great signal, really. And yeah, you've really tested a lot of antennas, and there's no doubt the Step IR is a very competent antenna. Like anything in life, Johan, as we know, it can't do everything, but it does most things well, for sure. 73s to you, Johan. Thanks for the time. QRZ DX. My name is Peter. Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo, Northport, Long Island, New York, about 45 miles east of New York City, which is getting a little busier. QRZDX, this is Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Yeah, Hotel India.
Hotel India, go ahead.
Thank you. Oscar Hotel 6, Golf Hotel India.
Roger, thank you. Oscar November 6, Golf Hotel India. Nice signal, 5 and 9 plus. The name here is Peter. Papa Echo Tango Echo Romeo. Not sure I have the call right. Oscar November 6, Golf Hotel India. Please correct me. Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Roger Peter, thank you. Yes, my suffix, Finland. Ocean, Honolulu, number 6, Germany, Honolulu, Italy. Again, Oscar Hotel, number 6, Golf Hotel India. You're 5 and 9, Peter, into the west coast of Finland. Beautiful signal. And my name also Peter. Papa Echo Tango Echo Romeo. Beautiful name, Peter. Yourself?
Oh, yes. It is a beautiful name for sure, Peter. And thanks for the correction on the call. Oscar Hotel 6, Golf Hotel India. Compliments on your QRZ page. Just a beautiful picture of your antenna. And the tower that it's on, or as they say, the antenna support system that it's on. It looks like you've got some frost in the trees there, or is that just, I'm not going to say that's the sun setting on the trees. That looks more like frost, Peter. And yes, I will tell you, I'm named after my grandfather, my father's father, and he was such a wonderful, wonderful man. He passed away when I was 5 years old, but I remember vividly sitting on his knee. Such a big man, a very large man. He worked. He basically was on the team constructing the subway system, underground subway system in New York City. What a job! What a difficult job. I think he had a couple of different jobs coming over from Italy, and he immediately joined the union there when he was allowed to. And he was part of the building the subway system. But they honored him so much that my father had a total of six brothers, and 4 of them named their sons Peter. Would you believe that, Peter? 4 of them. And now 3 of them, including myself, are located in this area. So it can get confusing. So the only thing that separates our names is our middle initial. But that's how much they loved and honored the name. And, I like it a lot and the way it is. Congratulations. We have names that are just really, I think, very, very special for sure. So you've got a nice signal, 10 over 9 at times. Tell me your operating conditions there. I'm running about a kilowatt to a Flex 6400 radio, and I'm using the SPE Expert amplifier. And the antenna that I have is a JK antenna, Peter, made by Navasa. It's a Navasa 5, rather, made by JK Antennas. Over to you, Peter. Thanks a lot for the correction on the call. Oscar Hotel 6, Golf Hotel India, W2JV. Over to you, sir.
Roger, JV. I was a bit uncertain of your call. I'm sorry for that. What a beautiful, outstanding history about your name and your grandfather. You can be proud. I rode in the, of course, in the New York subway. I think it was very, very good. Built, very logical, easy to get around. And what an incredible job to build all that underground. It's just amazing, absolutely amazing. Those guys, they were a bit special. They were, Peter, at least in my book. And congrats on your setup, fantastic, all top class, all the way from the transceiver antenna and output. You have a super station. I'm running a small pure millimeter station, around 400 watts, a small Honda 2816 grounded grid. And
and the antenna is a vertical delta loop, only 3 meters over ground. And the rig, the old Icom 781 from the early 90s. My WX today, Peter, has been absolutely smashing. Clear blue skies and sunshine. Just a wonderful summer's day with around 22 Celsius. So I ain't complaining. We had a wonderful summer so long. JV 086UHI, over.
I'm here. I just had to take a sip of tea, Peter. No puny station at all. Not at all. What counts is certainly the signal, and you're getting out here fine, and your signal is hovering between a 5 and 7 and a 5 and 9, so nothing to complain about. Location also helps for sure, and the audio, the modulation that you have is just fantastic. So the 781 is doing a great job, and clearly the antenna system is doing a fine job. It really is. Delta Loops are very, very competent antennas. They really are, and the Delta Loops that I've heard really do a great job. Getting back to my grandfather and working underground, yes, good word, Peter, special people. And, you know, these are immigrants. These are people that came over from his country of Italy and came over here and immediately rolled up his sleeves and became part of the fabric of America. And I think still today, immigrants certainly play a key role, and they work so very, very hard. And we know there are many, many occupations that immigrants are doing here in the United States that ordinary Americans who are born here, somehow they feel at times they feel that they're entitled to work in higher level jobs, and the immigrants are rolling up their sleeves and working very, very hard to continue to build our country and work very, very hard at times for wages that are not fair. So even today, 100 years later, they're still special people. And so clearly anyone that says that they don't belong as part of the fabric of the country just are not right at all. And especially people like us who've seen firsthand how someone from another country can come over and really be a major contributor. Anyway, enough said on that. And yes, that's how the name Peter came about, really. Well, it's really been a pleasure, Peter, speaking with you. And thank you so much for the time. And as I said, your 400 watts, your Delta Loop, and the 781 are doing one masterful job for you. And yes, smashing weather. Well, our weather is a little less smashing in that the temperature is certainly around 34, 35 Celsius. And as a result of that, there isn't too much yard work. I did a little bit this morning, but it became very clear that the humidity was very, very high. So that made it very difficult to continue to do any work outside. So here we are, stuck, right? Stuck. This is a good place to be stuck in our shacks, really. We don't mind this social distancing. We certainly specialize in it. So it's been fun. It really has been. And I'm also streaming. This broadcast is being streamed live through the facilities of a streaming network called Twitch, TWITCH TV. So if you want to listen to your signal, you can go on Twitch TV. My call sign, go to QRZ. And you can be sent over to Twitch TV, and at the hour and 33-minute mark, you can hear yourself on the air as you sound here to me. So we're enjoying that as well. And the reason why we're doing the stream is certainly because we want to interest more young people in this service, this hobby of amateur radio, and to show them that we also are up to date on technology, and we're just not a bunch of nerds, Peter, sitting in their basements, using solder and making circuit boards. We certainly do enjoy the technology. We enjoy using sound cards and high-end computers, and certainly all the technology that certainly a lot of the gamers are using today. So we're trying to encourage more folks, and hopefully we'll see more young folks do that, because it'll certainly pave the way. As I said many, many times, getting involved in amateur radio is a good stepping stone towards a very, very lucrative career in the science, the technology, or the engineering or mathematics fields. And it certainly can be a fantastic way to tie that all together. Peter, this has been a pleasure. I really thank you for the time, and thank you for giving me a little bit of your background as well. And by the way, how did you get your name? Did your name come from one of your relatives, or did your mother just say, "I love that name"? Oscar Hotel 6, Golf Hotel India. Peter here, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. Over to you, Peter.
Yeah, Roger, Peter. Yeah, honestly, I don't know that. I don't know why they named me Peter, but we didn't have anybody in the bloodline with that name. But my second name is Eric. Yeah, and that's a very old Swedish name. I'm Swedish, by the way. So born and raised in Sweden, and my first name, second first name is Eric. So that has run in the family. But I think it's Peter, you know, the Rock. It's the Rock. He founded his church on. And the other one, Eric, it means the faithful. So my name runs down to the faithful Rock. How about that one, Ernie?
You can't do better. I've never heard of rocks being faithful, but you know, it's important to have a faithful rock, because certainly when you want to step on that rock, you want to make sure that it can certainly support you. And certainly, I think Peter the Rock and Eric Faithful have worked well. I have a good friend that I sailed with for many years when I lived on a lake in New York, New Jersey border, and his name is Carl Eric Carlson. Now, that's a real Swedish name, isn't it? Carl Eric Carlson. And he was one of the best sailors I've ever had the pleasure of sailing with. In fact, he won the national championship in our boat, the Rebel, R-E-B-E-L sailboat. He could, I don't know what it was. He could feel the wind before anybody else felt the wind. So I have a feeling it's somehow born part of the DNA of the Swedish people. What do you think about that, Peter? Go ahead.
Yeah, well done, very good. And also you wonder, yeah, I lift my hat, incredible, fantastic. I didn't know I spoke to such a vivid sailor. That's really nice, Peter. Congratulations. Very, very fun, very nice. Yes, my self, I must say, I'm sorry, but my sailing knowledge is rather lacking. I was born close to the Arctic Circle in Sweden, a small base, Överkalix, and that was close to the Arctic Circle. It was inland, so of course we had lakes and stuff, but no sailing boats or anything of that kind. But I like being at seas, and I would like to polish up my knowledge in that area. And if I just can win the lotteries, I'll be certain to get me a sailing boat, and I'll sail over a hop in the Caribbean and then up to W2 countries. Peter, thank you very much. I very thoroughly enjoyed this. You're doing a great job. Fantastic setup. And very, very interesting QSO. I'll let you go. I think a lot of Europeans want to give you a call. And you're steady, 5 and 9 booming in. God bless to you, loved ones. Stay safe. Health, of course, most important. And peace of mind, also something good to have. W2JV0A6EHI, all over.
Peter, OH6GHI, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. Peace of mind, yeah, very, very good. It's something that you cannot buy. Even if you win the lottery, it doesn't guarantee you, certainly, peace of mind. And certainly during these difficult times, it's very important to keep up a very solid, positive mental attitude in order to encourage that peace of mind. And one of the books that I really love to read is The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. It's the first book that I read that was introduced to that book by my uncle, who said, yeah, you know, straighten out and fly right here. And your attitude is something that you yourself are in charge of. And I didn't know what he was talking about. I was only, I think, 13 years old. But he certainly was an influence in my life. And I read the book, and I still have one of the original printing editions of The Power positive thinking. So yeah, peace of mind, and certainly does give you peace of mind to put your head in order. Well, Peter, I've enjoyed the conversation. Certainly, yep. I hope you can win the lottery so you can sail to the Caribbean, the Bahamas. And certainly to W2 land. That would be fantastic. And yeah, living near the Arctic Circle, you're right. You don't have too many opportunities to certainly sail. Carl grew up in Gothenburg, so he had many opportunities from there to learn how to sail. But yeah, it is a wonderful sport, and one that I've enjoyed very much. Peter, great conversation, and yeah, thank you for the Peter name. And in fact, yeah, sometimes it's funny how your mother. I don't know if there's anybody ever in the family that would tell you how the name came about, but sometimes mothers just know that this is Peter. One final comment though about my name, and this is funny now, but my grandmother had a big influence with my mother, and my mother gave birth to me, and my name was not on my birth certificate, Peter. It had no name with my last name because my grandmother was arguing with my mother about the name. She wanted to name me I don't know what it was, something else. And my mother stuck to her guns, and she didn't make that decision right away, but she consulted with my father, and my father came through. So it wasn't easy. It took a little bit of effort. But nevertheless, thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about something that we don't really talk about too much. Peter, the best of 73s to you. Good health. Be well. Certainly, I can see you have a good, positive approach to life, and I enjoyed you sharing it with me, Peter. 73s. Just been thoroughly enjoyable. Oscar Hotel 6, Golf Hotel India, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. The best of 73s to you, Peter. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
73s to you. Bye-bye, sir. This is Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. QRZ DX, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. The Papa Delta 2, please.
Whiskey, QSL, Peter?
Okay, Papa Delta 3 Whiskey. I think there's one more letter. Papa Delta 3 Whiskey, go ahead.
It's QSL, Papa Delta 3 Whiskey, QSL, my friend.
Oh, okay. I was trying to get you a longer call. I believe your name is Hans from the Netherlands. We're doing very well in the Netherlands today. Tell me what part of the Netherlands you're in. My name is Peter. Pop Echo Tango, Echo Romeo. Nice signal, 5 and 7, Hans. Papa Delta 3 Whiskey, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Yeah, Roger, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. This is Papa Delta 3 Whiskey. You're 5x9, Peter, 5x9, very strong signal. I'm working with 25 whiskeys onto my spider beam.
Oh, I got to put a truth. I have to put a truth meter on you, Hans. 25 whiskeys. I don't know if I believe that. That's fantastic. Tell me, what kind of antenna system do you have, Hans? Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger, Peter. It's only 25 whiskeys. I'm not allowed to use more, my friend. I have a novice license since January this year, and I'm allowed to use 25 whiskeys, that's all, eh? My antenna is a spider beam, Peter, QSL.
Oh, well, a spider beam does a fantastic job, and clearly, as long as the weather doesn't play havoc with it, it does a great job. Well, Hans, that's great. Congratulations on getting your license. And one thing that's a benefit, you're allowed to, you can operate. Do you have any frequency restrictions, Hans, or can you operate the entire 20-meter beam, Hans? Go ahead.
No. We have restrictions at the moment. They are planning to give them up, but at the moment we're only allowed to work up till 14,250 QSL.
Okay, that's good. 14,250. Okay, and you could work down the lower end, obviously, as well. Well, that's very nice. And in order to get your upgraded license, Hans, do you have to have a number of QSOs that you're required to get, or you just do licensing through incentive licensing through study tests, Hans? Go ahead.
Oh, you have to study. You have to study. It's really tough. It's not for me. I won't make it. So I'm glad I passed for my novice license, but no, it doesn't. How do you say that? It doesn't match up with the QSOs. Otherwise, I would be a full license in a real quick time. I made about 700 QSOs in the last 3 months, so that's okay, my friend. But the full license, it's a bit of a study for me.
Roger, Hans, Papa Delta 3 Whiskey, Whiskey to Juliet Victor. Nice call you have, Hans. That's a real keeper of a call. And 700 QSOs in a short period of time, that's really very honorable for sure. Well, I can tell you it was difficult for me. Certainly the code at 20 words a minute, that wasn't too difficult. But the theory certainly was difficult, and I had certainly the benefit of a mentor to help me through it, and certainly that made all the difference. And I'm sure that, Hans, that you can certainly hopefully find one as well as you advance through your licensing. But congratulations, really, Hans, on the call. And tell me, you became an amateur radio operator. What was it that piqued your interest in becoming an amateur radio operator, Hans? Over to you.
Yeah, Roger Peter, W2 Juliet Victor. This is Papa Delta 3 Whiskey. I've been operating the CB radio for about 30 years, and the CB band in the Netherlands is almost gone. It's almost gone. So I used to sell a lot of equipment for CB radio, and I always a really long time. I was planning to get my license, and I joined a radio club in close to my town, and that's about the reason that I pulled through. And I mean, you can do it as a pilot, but I don't like that. I want to be running the proper equipment in the proper way, how it's be done, and. When I'm at the club and there is a full licensed amateur in the building with me, then I can use more power and I can work all the bands. But for now I'm at my home, I'm only allowed to do 20 meters up to 14250, the full 10 meters, and 40 meters I can work up till 7.100, so that's only a very small part. For the novice license, we don't do CW. We can use it, but we are not supposed to. But anyway, there is no digital modes at the moment for the novice to where you have to do your exam and if you Roger, Peter.
Oh, Roger, Hans, thank you for that. Yeah, I didn't completely appreciate the fact that the CW. It's interesting they don't want you or not allowed at this level, I guess, to do CW, which I would think that perhaps it might be part and parcel of certainly being an amateur radio operator. But I suppose they have their reasons for it. But it's really very, very good that you joined the club, as you said, and. Yeah, I agree. Having the full licensing, having passed the primary exam, it's an honor to do that and to be able to operate in the full light of day without worrying about somebody knocking on your door. Well, I'm on your QRZ page, and I'll fill out the QRZ logbook so I can put my entry in your logbook. Be my pleasure, Hans, and really glad you made contact. 25 watts. I'm really impressed. That is very impressive, Hans. It really is. Great job that you're doing with the spider beam. So clearly, no issues at all. You can speak to anybody when the propagation is right anywhere in the world, Hans. That's for sure. Over to you for any final comments, Hans. Enjoyed the QSO, short as it may be. Papa Delta 3 Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor.
Roger, Peter. Yes, indeed. As long as the spider beam stays up in the air, it's okay. It's running really, really well. It came down already twice as long as I've got it, but anyway, as long as it stays up, it's a very, very nice antenna. Thank you for the contact, Peter, and I wish you all the best to you and your family, and I would say bye-bye for now. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. This is Papa Delta 3 Whiskey 73s, and good luck, my friend.
No, well, thank you, Hans, very, very much. I appreciate that. And yeah, the spider beams clearly, for the most part, when they're constructed well, and clearly you sound like you put yours together properly, it should give you a lot of years of good service, that's for sure. Hans, 73s, enjoyed the Q, so congratulations again on your new licensing, and I do look forward to speaking with you again. And you don't need more than 25 watts, so that's fantastic. 73s to you, Hans. Thanks so much for the time.
Yeah, Roger, appreciate it. Bye-bye. Thank you, my friend, for calling back to me. Good luck.
And thank you. Good luck, be safe, and good health. Thank you so much, Hans. QRZ DX, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. The station starting with Italy. The station starting with Italy. Go ahead. Roger, I have the Italy and the Bravo Quebec. A little bit of QSB on your signal, but give me your call again, please. Go ahead. Sierra Bravo Quebec. Yeah, a bit of QSB. So it's Italy something, Sierra Bravo Quebec. Go ahead again. Okay, yep. I got the letters wrong. Once again, give me your call again, slowly again. Go ahead. Okay, I think I have it right. Yankee Oscar 8, Sierra Bravo Quebec. Is that correct?
Roger.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time. Yankee Oscar 8, Sierra Bravo Quebec. Yankee Oscar 8, Sierra Bravo Quebec. Thank you so much. A very good evening to you. My name is Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo. Back over to you for your name and your location. Yankee Oscar 8, Sierra Bravo Quebec, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Roger. Let me I have the Yankee, I got to get the call right here. I have the O instead of the Oscar. Yankee Oscar 8, Sierra Bravo, Quebec. Thank you, Geeka. I have your name here. Thanks so much for your patience in certainly repeating your call many, many times. A 5 and 7 with QSB, but nevertheless very, very copyable, 5 and 7. So give me some details. What's your conditions there? What are your operating conditions? The name here is Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo. Yankee Oscar 8, Sierra Bravo Quebec, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Geeka, thank you very much. The Hex Beam 857 and the 500 watts all doing a good job. A little bit of QSB, but it's with propagation being not so a little bit crummy today. Speaking with you from New York to Romania is very, very good. So thanks for the contact, Geeka. Thank you so much, and thank you for your patience with your call. I appreciate that. The best of 73s to you. Have a good day, and thanks so much for making contact. Yankee Oscar 8, Sierra Bravo, Quebec. Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. Over to you for your finals. Uh, 73s, Geek. 73s to you. Thanks so much. Be well. The Italy Alpha into Italy. Italy Alpha Italy. Go ahead.
For Zebra 9 Zebra 4, please 5 up. 5 up.
Oh, you have a do you have a net going on this frequency? Okay, this is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. We can go QRT. I believe somebody else might want to use the frequency. So Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor going QRT. Thank you, everybody.
India 4 Kilo Hotel.
Well, okay. Those of you who hung in there during what we would say would be weak propagation ended up to be a very nice, how long was it there? Hour, almost 2 hours on the air here, where conditions, by the numbers anyway, were not not very favorable. So we're very pleased. We made some nice contacts, had some nice QSOs. I always enjoy speaking with folks in other countries where you don't have to rush off and just give a signal report and a name type of thing. So those who viewed our stream, thank you very, very much. I added a little bit of a blue light here to our stream. I don't know if that is something that looks pretty good, or should I go back to the white? But anyway, nevertheless, most importantly is the QSOs that we had, and certainly hopefully encouraging others that are not involved with the hobby of amateur radio to perhaps maybe become interested in getting involved in the hobby. So that's it for the day. 73s to everybody. Once again, as usual, thank you for those who have followed. And we have a recent follow a couple hours ago, Sugar 57 Zulu Tango. Sugar 57 Zulu Tango. Thank you very much for the follow. We very much thoroughly appreciate that. Thanks so very much for that. So here it is at 4:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Officially, it's the first full day of summer. Hope you're being safe out there. Hope you're enjoying yourself, and hopefully you're paying attention to the CDC and what they're prescribing in your particular area. So 73s, everybody. Enjoy the time here on Amateur Radio, and once again, look forward to streaming again real soon. We don't have a particular schedule in mind, just because of essentially a lot of, I guess it mostly is dependent upon propagation, but clearly a day like today, normally looking at the numbers, I wouldn't have turned on the radio, but here we are, and we had some good DX. 73s, everybody. Thanks a lot. This is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor, Peter, saying goodbye for now. And